Well, according to the MasterCard Worldwide Index, consumer confidence in South Africa increased by 2 points to a current score of 69.8 compared to 2011, when a score of 67.8 was recorded. The indicators pertain to the economy, employment, stock market, regular income and quality of life. Those are some of the measures. Joining us for more is Philip Panaino, who is Division President for SA MasterCard Worldwide. So, Philip, it sounds a very upmarket measure. If you're having stock market as a measure of consumer confidence, that's not that many consumers would have thought to take an interest in the stock market if you're looking at the whole market.
Yeah, thanks. We've decided to run our survey, and it's been running for the last 20 years. And our focus is around the middle and upper income households with people with a fairly well disposable income that can actually go beyond the basic necessities. So one of the key criteria is they need to have a bank account and obviously a card. And we'll be playing actively in the economy, the stock market. We do touch on specific trends around income, their perception around job creation, their outlook, quality of life for the next 6 months.
So a highlight for us then the trend that's been revealed by the survey, because yes, we've seen an increase of 2 points in the South African consumer. It's sitting now at 69.8. But if you're looking on a historic basis, I mean, historical peak was 91.9, so we're still well off that. And the historical average sits at 71.3, well off that as well.
Yeah, I think it's important to put it into context that although the survey is increased year on year, we still, off the average of about 71%, and the historical highs that we've seen in, at 91%. So, there is still a fair sentiment out there, but overall the trend is positive. And I think, if you just touch on specifically, let's look at the stock market as key indicator of one of the elements in our survey. We've seen a fair increase around about 7% year on year if you take February to February in terms of the all share index and in terms of performance. Again, if you take the same component here in terms of market capitalization for the same group, we've seen a high, an increase of about 90% in terms of market capitalization off the record lows in 2009. So yes, I think a balanced optimism. We're not fully there yet, but the trend is positive.
This is not what people are spending or doing, it's what they think, it's how they feel. I remember my father always used to say when he saw a survey result on television or radio, he'd say, they didn't ask me. And you always wonder, how many people are being asked. And so what is the universe here of that middle to upper bracket?
Yeah, I think that's an important point. First of all, we conduct our survey, a standardized survey across 25 markets, of which South Africa, Nigeria, Kenya, Morocco and Egypt's part of the pool, and a total of 11,500 surveys are surveyed, respondents are surveyed in the survey. So it's fairly representative and well reflected in terms of the population pool that we're targeting.
What's also interesting is that we're able to compare how the South African consumer is doing to those relative of African countries. I mean, Egypt, Kenya, Morocco, Nigeria, consumers there also being surveyed.
Yeah, what was quite encouraging is, the only country with a lower index compared to South Africa is Kenya, around about at 49%, but the highest has been recorded in Morocco at 94%, Nigeria at 91%, and then Egypt at 90%, which is quite surprising to see the statistic, but I think encouraging from a continent perspective.
Interesting comment by Rudolf Buerter, the economist, and he talks about the mortgage loans as a factor in this, and of course interest rates are at a 30, 40-year low, and they look set to remain so. So that must be a factor, even though it hasn't translated into higher prices for houses. Certainly consumers feel good about low interest rates.
Yeah, and I think if you take an average household, and if they were applying for a mortgage loan about 3 years ago, and doing that same loan application today, the affordability and the amount that they'll most probably be approved for is roughly double. That's obviously keenly driven by 39-year lows in terms of the prime lending rate, and also the fact that if you look at the nominal average salary increases for the period from 2009 has been an increase of 36%. So definitely benefiting this target of respondents and putting them in a better position than a couple of years ago.
Just how reliable a gauge is this of consumer sentiment within this category and this demographic of the South African population are we looking at? Because I mean, the survey was conducted between the 24th of April and the 10th of June.
Yes.
And given the volatility, given the headlines that appear and then disappear and then come back again, over a 2-month period, one would assume that someone feels very different on the 24th of April relative to the 10th
Especially
of
if the
June.
Springboks lose.
I think that's a fair comment to make. This is a forward-looking statement in terms of when we ask and survey respondents. So it takes a 6-month forward-looking view. It is important to mention that this is pre-Lonmin and all the economic activity in South Africa. So there most probably would be a slight difference of opinion. But I guess because of the time period being 6 months, it's fairly reflective. And we have had past results with lower figures come out. So it, broadly is reflective, but I do think because it's fairly recently updated, it will be interesting to review the new statistics that's going to come out in 6 months' time.
Well, we look forward to chatting to you then. Philip, thanks so much for joining us today. Philip Panaino is Division President at South Africa MasterCard Worldwide.